video games. Welcome to Filthy Casuals, a podcast about video games hosted by two very kind and extremely knowledgeable boys. Thank you for joining us. My name, if you didn't know already, it's Tommy Dasilo. And of course, as always, I am joined by...
the man who needs no introduction, Benjamin J. Vernell, born 12th of the... No, I won't give out too much information, otherwise... for some reason, people will try and take my identity.
Yes.
But it's good to be here, Tommy.
Yes.
Finally, we've had a new game that's actually fun to play. Feel like we've had a couple of weeks where it's been a little bit like, we've been going back over some summer games, some old games we haven't played and discovering some little tidbits. We had a big demo from Dragon Quest, but I've been looking forward to this game that we're going to discuss today for a while now.
Yeah.
And we've also had a few little bits of news. I don't know if you watched the
You're
direct.
on the clock today. What, you got somewhere to be after this?
I need
Let's
a nap.
bash this one out in 15 minutes if we can. Let's go.
No, I didn't realize this thing was happening until I logged on this morning and started doing some research for today. There was a Tomodachi Life direct.
Yeah.
A couple days ago? A day ago? Yeah.
I think it was on Friday our time, maybe. It was at 1 a.m., which does seem like a strange time for it to have been because I suspect that it is one of those games that is most popular in Japan. So it seems weird for this direct to have been at quite a prohibitive time for that audience. And weirdly, people noticed after it had aired that it was slightly different in every country. Every country's stream had when there's a clip of something from the game where they're describing what's happening, what they're describing is the same, but the little character that they used in each one for every territory was a different little me character.
Oh, interesting.
For some reason. I don't quite know what the point of making it region specific for such a small detail was, but kind of cool.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
But this has come up over the years, this franchise, but I've never played one. I think I was always kind of turned off by them using Mii's, which I didn't really even like back in the Wii days, but
Yep.
I really got into this direct.
Me too.
I thought this looked awesome.
I'm the same. I've not never played one of these. I was, I think, asking in our Discord if anyone is into it. I was in before the direct. I was wanting someone to sort of pitch me on it, someone who's really into it to kind of give me the what's good about it, what's the what's the entry point. And yeah, this direct does a really good job of, I suppose, if you're someone who is into the franchise and you're just keen to find out what is going to be in this new one. But it also just does a very good job of, let's say you're someone like ourselves who has no idea what this series is. It does a very good job of painting the picture of what you do in this game. And what it essentially is Nintendo's version of The Sims.
Yeah.
Is probably quite a fairly reductive way to describe it. But I would say broad strokes, it does have a lot of similarities of Animal Crossing, but it's a bit more about designing your own characters and playing God in a bit more of a way like you do in The Sims. You're not so much living your life in this island and saving up the money for things. You're making me characters, you're populating the island with them, and then you're sort of assigning their personalities and all that kind of stuff, and then they're sort of forging relationships with each other. They're getting hungry or they're getting bored, and you're having to spruce up their houses with different things and sort of manage the relationships. It looks cool, and I'm with you. I never really at the time was that into the aesthetic of the Mii's, but something about this application of them I'm really into. Being able to make a little island with versions of celebrities or people that you know, and the little character editor looks like you have a pretty decent amount of freedom. Like they showed in this direct someone making a little teddy bear. You can have like kind of that skin color, and then you can like sort of manipulate the hair to make it look like little ears, and you can paint on the face. And so once I saw that and realized, oh yes, we'll be able to make Cupid and have him on our island. That's when I went, this is now a day one for me.
Yes, I saw in the comments. I watched like the Nintendo of America stream, by the way, so don't know what the differences were. I've only watched that one. But yeah, in the comments, someone, quoted the phrase of like, you can make your friends and family, and just replied or like put under that, like, you can make all your favorite characters from film and television, which is absolutely going to happen as well. Shrek's going to be in there, Waluigi, Joker, all of my favorite characters, my personal top 3 are going to be in my version. But yeah, I thought that looked awesome. And you're right, I think the customizability, which feels like it's way more advanced than it was, back when Mii's were introduced. Yeah. That's really appealing. It just kind of looks nice. I think visually it has a cool style that is, like I like The Sims and I played a few of those, but, it was very like late 90s, very kind of simplistic aesthetics. Whereas this looks kind of fun and more Animal Crossing-ish. I wasn't clear on, because I skim watched this. That's why I'll fully disclose
Cards on
that.
the table. Respect.
I don't know if you build buildings or if buildings become available. I know some things like, the apartments or the houses expand based on the population, stuff like that. But yeah, if there was also, there seems to also be some kind of like minor city building aspect to it, or unlocking buildings at least.
I think so. I think more buildings pop up when you create. I think you have to create a character in order for there to be a building gets kind of made for them. I think, it does sort of seem on the surface like quite simplistic, but I believe that there's a pretty good amount of depth to it. So the previous one was like really popular, sold a lot of copies around the world, and I remember when this got revealed in a direct a few months ago. Yeah. A certain corner of the internet went crazy with the news that there was going to be a new one of these. So it's definitely got its pretty diehard fans, which would speak to a potentially, Animal Crossing level of depth, where it seems quite sort of simplistic on the surface, but you can very easily spend hours and hours and hours. And they did say in the direct that was a bit of a sticking point for some people that they are going to... I don't quite know how it's going to work, but there's going to be potentially... restricted what you can take photos of within the game. Sure. Because a big part of it is like having these little characters and putting them into scenarios and sharing snapshots of what your little characters look like and what's going on. And people sort of were, I think, a bit angry that it looks like some sort of censorship thing and Nintendo not letting you cut loose, although I guess that is more of a reflection and indictment on the world we're in at the moment, more so than just Nintendo, because like one of the first things I saw was like, well, of course there's just going to be a billion Charlie Kirks floating around on people's time. You know what I mean? It's like they don't want... Like, if you're making these, like, brutal... Like, if you're making a Donald Trump and a fucking Elon Musk and you're trying to make it Little St. James Island, it's like they don't want... They don't want it to, that sort of stuff to be out there on the internet and look like that's just something that they've let people do.
Right. And it's hard to... It kind of feels like you have to blanket ban certain things in order to, protect younger people and just protect yourself from not breaking any laws. Because I
don't know how they're going to monitor it. Like, I don't quite know how this is going to work. And of course, the other side of it is like, you can take a photo of the screen easily enough. Like, if there's some way that the game can detect if something's happening, you using the screen share button, then sure. But like, it's not like we're going to be robbed of being able to see any of the funny stuff that people make in this game.
That's right.
People are going to find a way. So it seems like much of a muchness, and like, of course they have to put out there that they're not going to sign off on you making like that Animal Crossing porno island, like the Tomodachi Life equivalent of like some famous person that you're making do bizarre things in this game. How do you feel about, because I quite like this. I think on paper, if you told me this, I would hate it, but seeing it in practice, I think is quite cool. There's like actual speech in the game, and it's that weird computerized text to speech, which again, I think in any other game, or just if you told me that, I would think like, that sounds kind of cheap, that sounds kind of shitty, but I'm actually into how like kind of weird and fucked up it looks in practice. It kind of gives it this very like, sort of off-putting edge to something that is quite cutesy, which I quite like the incongruity of it.
Yes, and I think if this was something I was watching 10 years ago and it had that, I would think, man, that's lame. They couldn't do better than that. Or, you know, why include text-to-speech when the speech sounds so bad? But in a world where you can literally recreate someone's speech and pretend to be them using AI, having this kind of like throwback, almost like retro, you know, Microsoft Windows text-to-speech from the 90s kind of feature, it feels cool. It feels like a choice. Like you said, it's like, including this is a style choice, and it creates this feeling of incongruity between the visuals and the words. And I feel like either they would have had to wait another, let's say 5 years when AI is much more accepted and they just use AI voices that sound real. And then it's like, oh, that makes it feel like these are real people that I'm interacting with in a real and ongoing, like, dynamic way. Or do what they did, which is really weird and cool. I
mean, the weird kind of stilted delivery sort of adds to this sort of stylistic thing of them feeling like little creatures, like they're not meant to actually be real people, like they are these weird little freaky things. And maybe it is just a bit of, as you say, a nostalgic thing too of, you know, this takes me back to using Microsoft text-to-speech on a school computer and sort of queuing it up so that when someone sits down in front of it and they hit a button, it's going to say, "I am gay" in a robotic voice very loudly. So maybe that's just why I've got a real fondness for the robotic text-to-speech voice thing.
Who can say?
Because I guess their other option would have been either have no speech at all or have like a, you know, Animal Crossing style, which has been done. Again, like it gives this a point of difference and it gives it its own feel. Like I think the fake little gibbery noises thing has been done in enough other games that it would make it feel like a bit too much of a carbon copy. But it's such a you just don't see this used in any games, and I like that it's a real part of the character of this.
Yeah, it feels like it's something that you might have seen in like an indie game where it becomes, you know, it's part of that aesthetic and it works and people are like, oh, that's a fun choice. The fact that it's in a Nintendo game is like, it just kind of makes it even funnier to me and kind of, more of an enjoyable style choice. But I'm just looking back at I think it's the previous game in the series, over 10 years old, right? Tomodachi Life came out 2014 in our territories. So people who love that must have been just absolutely frothing at the mouth at the announcement. And again, reading those comments, I love to read comments. All those fans are just hyped as a hell for this new one. Like, basically, the sentiment is like, wow, everything in this game, actually, a lot of the comments were, thank God I didn't commit suicide, or this is the anti-suicide direct.
Right.
Like a reason to stay alive. Which was like, why is that the prevailing tone of comment? But people were really excited for it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot bad going on in the world, you know, and it's you got to take your wins wherever you can. I was pitching Lauren on this, and she seems pretty into it. I was like, oh yeah, it's you know, it's Animal Crossing, but you can make your own, you can make your own little guys, and I'm already starting to think like, who do I want to make? What kind of guys do I want to populate my island with? What's my? I'm weirdly like even though I'm like not a character creator person in like a single player game. I never like doing it, but for some reason in this, I'm also like more into the idea of being able to do whatever I want when it comes to populating the island with people than I am in terms of like decorating an island however I want in Animal Crossing. I'm like, I think I can picture more clearly like a theme of like type of guy I want to have on the island than I can like, oh yeah, I guess you could like make it all like paved roads and put lampposts up. And this, I'm just like, what if I have a bunch of like Safdie Brothers movie extras running around, a bunch of little freaks walking around.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, it's because this trailer showed us, this direct showed us, like, yeah, these people are going to talk to each other and like have weird dynamics, weird relationships with each other and friendships, and you're going to like stumble across two of them like go off fishing, having a deep and meaningful conversation about life or something.
Yeah.
Like, I think, yeah, that I agree. Like, I do like the general customization of stuff in games, but yeah, it just like, I don't know, it sparks the creativity.
Yeah. Look, obviously not to condone piracy, but it is pretty tempting to be able to play a modded version of this game where you can get one of your characters to tell the other character to go home and get his fucking shine box. You know, my mind's already reeling with the possibilities, and there's certain things that I just don't think are going to be possible in the base default version of this game.
Oh yes. Oh, they didn't tell you that. I don't do that no more. They didn't tell you that.
Anyway, this was sort of I knew that this had its fans. I hadn't really, apart from that one little reveal, it wasn't really on my radar all that much. But now that I've seen this, I'm very excited. And this is one of the few things that they've announced that is a Switch 1 and 2 game.
Yes.
Obviously, it's not doing anything too graphically dexterous. I've seen they didn't really talk about any Switch 2 specific features in this. It's just going to be like the one version of the game, regardless of which console you play it on. I saw a lot of people speculating that, it was saying it's strange that there's no mention of any Switch 2 features. Like, it does seem like the kind of thing that would benefit from mouse controls, like because in the way that you're like moving these little characters around. But maybe that'll come down the line. But this is out on the 16th of April. So maybe we haven't done a video in a while. Maybe this will be a fun one to return to the video content with. We can spend a week making the freakiest little island we both can, and then do a mutual tour and sort of show each other what we've been cooking up.
That's a great idea. Also, we haven't mentioned, or we did, but we didn't talk about it enough. The subtitle is "Living the Dream."
Yeah, really good.
Really good. I think my theme is going to be like middle-aged bogans.
What could I'd like to make I'd like to make an island of all different Tim Robinson characters all living together.
Yes.
I got to really think. I mean, a TV show, like different TV show characters would be great, all kind of living together.
Yeah. Or just recreating a TV show, doing Seinfeld, doing every character in Seinfeld, doing every Curb. I mean, just doing the Chair Company and creating that. And seeing how that like unfolds as a little simulation, man. Yeah, there's so many fucking possibilities.
If it was out now, I'd be doing an Oscar nominees island. I'd be doing Leo in the bathrobe. I'd be doing Smoke and Stack from Sinners. I'd be getting the whole gang in there. Yeah,
I mean, look, I hope it lives up to these incredible expectations we've set for it. But it looks fun. And yes, I agree. Let's do a little mutual island tour in a couple of months'
surprise
time.
each other.
Although that is smack bang in the middle or towards the end of the comedy festival. I don't know how you'll be placed personally. Maybe you'll be wanting to retreat into that life.
That's true. It'll be right near the end. I'll have like 3 shows left when it comes out. So that's not too bad.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, if you're in Perth, I'm going to be there Feb 11 until 15th at the Pleasure Garden. And then I'm in Adelaide February 20 and 21. And then Melbourne April 7 until 19 if you want to come and see my new stand-up comedy show. It's called A 7-Minute Voice Memo Left on Red, and you can get tickets at my website, tommydasilo.com. How was that for a quite speedy advertisement?
It was good. It was very naturally
stuck in
placed.
The middle of actual content.
Yeah, very nice.
I mean, you set me up beautifully. Well, the makers of Tomodachi Life, Living the Dream, kind of really set me up beautifully for that. Nintendo also revealed a few more details about the Mario Wonder Switch 2 version, which I think after that initial reveal that they were going to make a Switch 2 edition with some extra stuff, they sort of had a little tease at the end of there being potentially new levels in there.
Yes.
And they've shown more of it, and that doesn't seem to be the case at all. It is all these little multiplayer games, and a little like challenge mode thing where the Koopalings show up and they like hide a little treasure inside one of the levels that's in the main game.
Okay.
So yeah, I think like of all of the Switch 2 edition upgrade stuff that we've seen, this is sort of the least interesting to me. Like the game doesn't need a visual upgrade. It doesn't have any new levels to it. The stuff is maybe fun for like families who all played through the game together if you've got kids or whatever. But
yeah,
I don't know. I still like when they have these Mario games where you can play 4 players at the same time. I never really end up hearing from anyone who plays it that way apart from just as like a trying it out for a little novelty. So I don't really know what the audience is for this. I would hope if they're not putting new levels in it, maybe that means that they're not doing that because they're working on a follow-up, which would be great. But yeah, this is I was really holding out hope that there'd be like a little more to this, but it seems it's a little uninteresting to me.
Yeah, I mean that's fair enough. It's called Meetup in Bellabelle Park. That was the thing that was released or revealed a little while ago. And it's Mario Wonder's version of Mario Party WarioWare mixed together. I mean, I imagine this is for people like our friend Levins when his kids were a little bit younger and they were keen on playing video games, not really up for something full scale, and he could kind of guide them through it. But that also is a pretty specific use case. They, you got to be into games. You got to be, have the Switch, have the game, have the kids at the right age. I guess there's a lot of kids out there.
I think it's just a combo of things where they want a reason to sort of be relaunching it, A, for the Switch 2, B, because the new movie's coming out.
Sure.
Yeah, to be fair, making a whole bunch of new levels is, resource and labor intensive, which probably that team has been moved on to something else or is busy with other stuff, or they just didn't want to pour the budget into it. So this does seem like just they've done what they can with just sort of reusing assets and repurposing a bunch of stuff. But the one good thing in this announcement that was of interest to me is that finally we're getting an Elephant Mario amiibo.
Yes.
Which is fucking awesome. And I mean, I take back everything I said negatively about it because that completely justifies the existence of all of the rest of it.
Yeah, I believe you've been calling for this since before the original Mario Wonder came out. You've been up there on the soapbox. Nintendo, where is Elephant Mario amiibo? And
before they even revealed the game, before we even knew that was a thing, right. I was saying, what if Mario was an elephant and there was a little toy of him?
That's right. And he sucked on things with his trunk.
Yeah, it seemed like a no-brainer. It also, I don't know why there was never when they brought out the first tennis game, I wanted an amiibo of Mario in his little tennis outfit. I don't know why we never got one of them. I don't know why we don't have a little Mario Kart amiibo.
Yes.
In his little costume, in his little rally car.
Yeah, they could be making so much more money than they already are just by going down to the plastic factory and churning out a few of these little bastards. But yeah, because I only have a few amiibo. I like my Samus amiibo more than I liked Metroid Prime Beyond.
Yes.
But they are cool. They are cool figurines. The ones that appeal to you are worth getting. And I would definitely get an elephant one. Yeah, they've been making some
good ones. Yeah, they've been making some good ones lately. The Kirby Air Riders ones are really cool. And I think that little elephant man's gonna look beautiful sitting on a little desk.
Yeah, and so crazy that they made a movie about that amiibo in the 80s by David Lynch, and that it didn't even exist yet. But I guess we'll have to watch The Elephant Man for the pod. It's, clearly video games related, and spend a whole episode talking about
I'm going to take Lauren's nephew to see the Mario Galaxy movie and then bring him home here and make him watch The Elephant Man immediately after.
Now, if you want this amiibo, you have to watch the movie. There was also, speaking of Kirby Air Riders, there was a free update, there was a free patch. Did you check out what was contained in this?
It's just a lot of balance stuff, I think, and you can do like a Grand Prix when you play online.
Sure.
It's no major content stuff. I do like that Sakurai, when he was doing those directs, he was very clear about like there will never be DLC for this game.
Yeah,
It's just like, this game is coming out with everything in it. Don't expect me to be adding new tracks or new characters. This is it. I've finished this game, and now they're chaining me to one of my multiple monitors in the living room and forcing me at gunpoint to work on a new Smash Brothers. So there simply is not time for me to do anything more with Kirby Air Riders.
It looks like you said, Grand Prix. There's a new rule set for... and there's like something. 2 players can now participate in paddocks and quick matches on the same system. Yeah, it looks like just a few little tweaks, which is still better than nothing.
Yeah, a few little upgrades, a few little different ways to play, but nothing hugely substantive. Speaking of hugely substantive, I think this story has kind of happened and then been clarified. I don't think we talked about this last week. I think it might have just been developing. But Dispatch, very popular game that came out at the end of last year on Steam, is now on the Switch and Switch 2. And when you play it on Steam, you can choose to censor it. It's quite a lewd game, I'm led to believe.
It's very bawdy.
They're calling it the modern day Leisure Suit Larry, from what I'm hearing.
Yeah, that's why I refuse to play it. I do not condone that kind of chicanery.
Yep. But the Switch version, there was a bit of controversy during the week because it launched as the default version was the censored version. There's no option to take that stuff off in the options. So there's things like black bars censoring the nudity, and I think maybe some swearing is censored. But it was kind of unclear why this had happened. I think people, given their track record, assumed that this was like a something that had been mandated by Nintendo. The developer came out, and I think they had sort of basically said that they had done it themselves just to make sure that it got passed on the eShop. Because, of course, the thing that seems like hypocritical or pointless about this is that there are a lot of hentai and various smutty games on the eShop. Something like Cyberpunk is not censored on there at all. Incredibly violent, has nudity in it. They've come out, and the developer have come out and clarified this to say, what have they said?
They basically said it wasn't forced on us by Nintendo. It's not like we uploaded the game and they censored it, after the fact, or they forced us to do it. But from the sounds of things, they very much did advise the developers of Dispatch. If you want to be released on the eShop, you probably do need to comply with these regulations and rules we have, which include nudity. I think perhaps most of the censorship, if not all of it, is nudity based, because I guess that would affect the rating. But it doesn't sound like Nintendo just did it to the game. They negotiated with the Dispatch devs, and they decided, well, we want our game to be sold on the Switch, so we will do that. Why there is a distinction between those games you mentioned before and this one, I don't know. And I don't think that's clear. And I think it sounds like the latest update is they are in ongoing conversations with Nintendo about this whole matter.
Yes,
and then there was
sounds like this has been enough of a issue for people that it does seem like the kind of thing that will get patched in. That you'll be. I mean, it would be such an easy fix because it's basically like applying a filter that is when you turn it on in the other versions of the game, it's just something that's like clicking on over the top of what's already there. So it would be pretty easy to patch in the thing that just removes it or just put the option in the options menu.
Yeah, and I think that people were also, I think, maybe a bit confused by the fact that the disclaimer that this was a censored version of the game was quite hard to find when you were buying the game. It was unclear for just the general layperson reading the store page that it was the censored version. I think, the devs went on to kind of explain, like, look, there is an extremely fine print field in, the way you submit your games to the eShop for a disclaimer. Generally, it's a legal disclaimer or something like that, and we put it there. But we didn't realize that that's how it would be displayed. We should have just put it in the description of the game. And so they've kind of apologized for that. They've definitely copped to that being their mistake. But I think the overall thing of it being censored full stop is still a negotiation with Nintendo. And it does seem like, a bit of hypocrisy with, like, The Witcher 3 has nudity, Cyberpunk, all these, very specifically, like, dating, quote-unquote, games with big anime titties, where it's fine. Again, it could be a rating thing where they didn't want to resubmit their game to the ratings board. Who knows? But it's an odd one. And you know what? It makes me want to play the game. They're back in the news cycle.
Hearing how horny it is the default.
Right.
No one really The irony is no one was talking about that at all when the game was first getting attention.
Yeah.
Another quite interesting thing interesting to me that happened during the week is that there was a image posted. I think it was either on the Walmart website or somewhere within their stores of the Switch Online and games that were available on it. And it had a picture of Metroid Prime 2 and Pikmin 2, which are not on there yet.
Yes.
And on the GameCube. And people took that to mean, this is like a accidental early announcement. These games are going to be coming out on the Switch Online, probably revealed in the next Direct or just sort of shadow dropped. And then Nintendo came out and clarified and went, that was a wrong image that we made by accident. And that was our mistake.
Those games they're not coming to the online service.
It's so rare for them to comment on things like this. So just the fact that they actually formally did go, no, that's not happening is quite it's quite unprecedented. I also would love to know how an image like this gets made and sent out with just some fucking random games being listed on there that aren't going up.
Yeah. Because I feel like, this will occasionally happen where it's a leaker posting a leaked image that they've just photoshopped, and Nintendo will not address that. They'll be like, we didn't put it out, and therefore we're not responsible for addressing it. But the fact that just someone made a mistake at Nintendo and was like, I'm going to put these games there, maybe as placeholders, maybe there was no guidance at all to the graphic designer, and they were just like, put some games from this, this console, this era in an image. And they chose those ones because they like them. Yeah, but how it got all the way through to being put on a American online store is the question. But
you know, something I've been thinking is quite strange this month. I did see a video on YouTube of there's like a couple of shops in Japan now that have demo units of Mario Tennis Fever.
Oh yeah.
And so there's been a couple of things that have popped up of people playing that in store. I find it quite strange that we are near the end of we've now finished the Australian Open, and that there was no, I remember going, I think the year after the Switch had come out, and they had, an activation there where you could play the Switch. It feels like, A, they've got this new console that would be maybe worth having an activation like that.
Yeah.
And B, you've got a tennis game coming out in, a month.
Yeah.
How good would that be for promo of the game if you're able to get fucking Sabalenka having a go of it or just show it to people on the grounds?
Yeah.
And I'm sure I was talking to Lauren about this and she was like, why wouldn't they? I'm like, well, I'm sure if you're the Australian arm, you have to get the clearance from the American arm or the Japanese arm. And if they're not having demos of it anywhere, then it's probably like
we're
not likely to be the only territory that gets to have like a demo of the game.
Yeah.
But knowing that they are demoing it in Japan, I was like, yeah, that just seems like I wonder if there's anyone in there that tried to get this going and couldn't, either getting the bosses to sign off on it or getting the Australian Open to, give them a space somewhere.
Yeah.
Or whether it's just someone who works in there was like, watching the final last night and just kicking themselves going, fuck, that's what we should have done.
Wait, there was a tennis match happening in Australia?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
They haven't even had ads for it on the coverage.
No, I was going to say, you would think there would be a big concerted campaign around it, because this is the time of year in Australia, but also this is a Grand Slam tournament. Lots of people are going to be watching this around the world.
Yeah.
And
it's funny timing that it is out a week and a half after the tournament finishes. It's kind of it's perfect timing. But hey, I'm looking forward to it. I love the tennis. I'm already sad that it's over, and I'm looking forward to filling that AO-sized hole in my life with a bit of fever racket action.
Well, I guess for Nintendo of Australia, this one was game, set, and match, not them.
Yeah, nice.
I just realized halfway through they don't have an opponent in this, so I don't know who to credit the win with, but they certainly lost.
I guess the opponent is just like common sense, maybe.
Wow. Okay. Wow. And they listen to this podcast. So.
Yeah. The opponent is like I don't know, marketing 101. I don't know. I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
As I say, it's more often than not, when you think about something like this and you go like, why isn't this happening? And you think it is just like a failing of them to have not, you assume that they didn't even consider it.
Right.
And more often than not, it's like, no, I bet they tried, or I bet it was floated and there was some reason why they couldn't. And look, the only reason, there was, when I went to the tennis one of the days, there was like a big gaming section. There was like a big, this room that you could go into that just had a bunch of PCs in there. There were a bunch of kids just sitting there playing Fortnite, which seems like a crazy place to go to play computer games. Even if you don't have a high, go to a gaming lounge or something. The idea of going to the tennis to do that. So there's easier ways to access video games, but
I mean
that was what got me thinking.
The tennis also had concerts happening, sort of as part of it, and if you really want to listen to music, you can just put Spotify on. So
that's true. They have tennis matches there, and you can just watch that at home.
Yeah. You can buy a tennis racket and just go to the park. I really don't know why any of it's happening at all.
I can do it myself. Why would I watch this when I can just do it myself?
That's right. There was a couple other things in the news this week. We've talked news for quite a long time, because I do want to talk about a few of the things we played, but I will just mention neither of us have played High Guard. It is a big story because it's kind of been very poorly received. A lot of that has been put down to the expectations set by making it the closing reveal of the Game Awards.
Yes.
But it also just apparently is not a particularly good game. Maybe if this was an early access release and they were taking feedback from players, it seems like the sentiment is, why didn't they build this up a little bit rather than essentially shadow drop it and release it, in the first month of the year. But I watched Donkey's video on it where he points out that High Guard is just another way of saying Overwatch, which is... it's like, man, that's the least creative title you could have possibly taken from someone else. But it's not getting great reception, and I'm curious to see what happens with it, because it is a Respawn game, or it's by ex-Respawn developers who created Titanfall, Apex Legends, things like that. So
yes. Yeah, I haven't seen anyone in our Discord or anything mention that they're playing it.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there is. Yeah, maybe there is an audience for it, but I feel like these things, they're more often than not, by shadow dropping it, and I think the style of game there's maybe a bit of a hope that people will kind of find it over time, but then simultaneously these things are now they're given such little time to take off, and then they're just kind of like abandoned and the servers are shut down if they don't become a massive hit within like a month.
Yeah, and I guess people are trying it because it's free, but just it's getting a lot of bad user reviews, and I have to assume if something is a free to play and you're not making your money back on microtransactions, it might be tough to keep this afloat. But I'm curious to see how it goes. People were like directly asking Jeff Keighley, like, do you have a financial investment in Highguard? Like, is that why you did that? And he was like, no, I definitely don't.
Yeah.
So, that's bad. If people are having to ask that about just showing a game's trailer at your event. Yeah.
Yikes.
Indeed.
Well, we haven't played that, so we can't really speak too much to the quality of it. But why don't we talk about some things that we can actually speak on the quality of?
I would love to do that, Tommy. That's a really good idea. Let's do that now.
Well, one thing I've been playing this week a game that we've already talked about at length over the years, but I have been playing the Switch 2 port of Final Fantasy VII Remake, which is a fantastic port of a fantastic game. If you've not played it before and you have a Switch 2, this is a really good way to play it if you want it on the go. And I've got to be honest, like, I'm sure if you look at it side by side, you would maybe notice a downgrade here and there, of course. But playing it in action, it looks flawless. Like especially having played it already on a PlayStation 4 and then finishing it off on a 5, I think, or dipping back into it in a 5 at least, and playing Rebirth on a 5. So all of that being fresh in my head, I'm not picking it up and feeling like, oh, I'm playing a downgraded version of this. I really do just feel like I'm playing the original version of it, just in a portable form.
Yeah, that's awesome. I assume because what are we talking frame rate wise? Do we know?
We're talking 30. It's 30, and it's super consistent. It hasn't dipped at all for me, and from what I've seen online, that seems to be the common experience. There's no points where it's really struggling. And playing Remake originally on the PS4, that was at 30. So I just feel like I'm just playing that. It especially on that handheld screen, it looks great. It has a really nice feature where you can do, like, when you start a new game, you can do a thing called Head Start, which basically makes you incredibly over-leveled and gives you, like, basically, I think, heaps of the materia, heaps of money. And so that those initial parts of the game, you just kind of are able to breeze through. So it really seems to have been done with a bit of a concession to, like, you're playing this again for the second time on on this platform, and you don't want to have to do all the, like, early grinding and really being challenged. Like, you just want to get up to the good stuff. And it's been a really fun way to, like, re-engage with it. Like, I did that game one time through already. I felt like I got my challenge out of it. I want to see a lot of the bits of it again. I don't know that I necessarily want to do the more punishing aspects of the combat and the gameplay, but I want to see the areas. I want to hear the music. I want to watch the story. And it's just reminding me, like, how fantastic the introduction to that game is. I mean, obviously the base of it that they're adapting for this remake, but just the way that the remake is done, the music is incredible, the pacing of it, the new stuff that is inserted in there. I remember us all being quite skeptical about the prospect of how this game was how they were gonna pull this project off, and then even just playing that demo and being like, holy fuck, this is incredible. Like, they've really done something pretty remarkable here.
Yeah. That's awesome to hear that it runs well on the Switch too. And I mean, I think we must have talked about this just off air, but that concept of the Head Start thing, it should be in more games. It should be built into longer games. It should be optional, obviously, but having that as, like, this something that allows you to kind of prioritize or figure out your own schedule and make
Yes.
gaming as a hobby, which is, gaming is a hobby. It's not work. It shouldn't be work. Make it fit into your lifestyle. That's not like, people always say like with the difficulty of FromSoft games, like just get good or whatever. Like, yes, that is part of the game's design, but convenience should be an option for something that is a hobby. So
100%.
Yeah.
And it also, it's a nice way of framing it too, because it's not an easy mode. It's not an assistance mode. But that's what it is. Like, it's not called that, but it is making you over-leveled. It's making you, like, if you turn on easy mode on any game, that's what it's doing. It's making it's making the enemy's health lower, or it's making your attacks do more damage. It's making the game easier on you, but playing it under the guise of this head start thing, I don't feel like, oh, this is a cop-out, I'm playing it on easy. I'm like, yeah, I'm playing the mode that's intended for people who are just wanting to bowl through it a bit easier because they've already experienced. Like, it's kind of a nice way of framing it. I think also just that conversation of just like games needing difficulty modes, and the term like easy is like so weighted because it does make you feel like, oh, I'm shortchanging myself out of part of the experience or whatever.
Right.
But you're right. I would love to see this in more things. I also, as we're in this era of multi-platform releases and some of those platforms being handhelds, and sometimes the Switch 2 version is coming out a bit down the line from the other releases. I'd love to see more cross-save possibility in games, because I'm someone who, if I'm playing something when it comes out for this and I'm getting it on the PS5 or the Steam Deck or Steam, I probably, if I'm really enjoying it, I will want to double dip down the line if it comes out on the Switch 2. That's my sort of platform of choice for the ease of taking it around and whatever. But yeah, having to start from scratch, like being able to pick up that save would just be incredible. And but yeah, great port. Highly recommend it. If you were thinking about revisiting it, I can definitely speak to the quality of this port. I don't think you'll be disappointed. And it's just also exciting to see another really good port and to see what is possible on this machine from these AAA developers, because it's like that is where that's where the like this console having a bit more power, that's the main thing it's really going to get used in. And I could see, I think with the Switch 2, we definitely will see a Pro model at some stage, probably sooner rather than later. And I think the main reason for that will just be them wanting to keep up with the third-party developers and the new AAA games that they're bringing out, and wanting to be able to have them sort of at parity in terms of, visual quality and release date on this on the Switch 2.
Yeah, I agree. I think it also speaks to the potential that the console has for first-party games if Nintendo wants to do something bigger in scope. It doesn't seem like, they'll ever lean into incredible ray tracing graphics and lighting and shit. But like, the scope of a Mario Kart world is possible because of the Switch 2. But, we've learned this every generation. Even first-party developers, they learn more and more and more about what the hardware can do as time goes on. And, the fact that games like this can run well, acceptably well, like very well, and look nice, it's a great sign for the console's future.
Yeah, to be getting games like this, I mean, in the first, 8 months, we've had Star Wars Outlaws, Assassin's Creed Shadows, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Cyberpunk 2077, Hogwarts Legacy, all of these quite big games that are all, some of them are PS4 as well, but a lot of them are just PS5 and beyond, and they're all running great on this console. And I think in the first year of the Switch, we didn't really have anything like that. I think we got a port of that Doom reboot, the first one, and I think that might have been it in terms of, it took a while for all of that stuff to catch up. And even when it did, it was like running very clunkily. Like there were a couple of decent ports, but that was more often than not, was the narrative was like, don't bother with this version, it's pretty bad.
Well, I mean, even their first-party games had issues with performance early days, think about how well Bonanza runs for the complexity of the physics and the destructibility and all of that. It just seems like this is a good, powerful console that hopefully, developers can wring even more out of as time goes on. But
it'll be exciting to see them, keep climbing and sort of challenging themselves to sort of reach out to the next little rock that they can grab onto.
Boo!
Oh, come on, that was all right.
I could tell you were too happy with it. I had to bring you down a notch or two.
I wouldn't say happy. I'd say relieved more than anything.
Honestly, that is the feeling of scaling a mountain and pulling yourself up onto that ledge, taking a few deep breaths in, and looking out at the view of that beautiful segue you said.
Yay, Ben! Yay!
We played Cairn. We played Cairn.
What does Cairn mean in relation to this game? Is this like a rock climbing term?
Cairn is like a big rocky outcrop, I think.
Right.
Cairn meaning a mound of rough stones built as a memorial or landmark. So
right.
Oh, it's the little stacks. It's the little stacks you make. You know those little stacks?
Gotcha. Yep.
But it is, if you don't know what this is at all, because I don't know, it might not have come across everyone's desks. It's a game about
I don't know that I
climbing.
would necessarily know about this if it weren't for you spruiking it. This is really on your radar, and I haven't seen it get a lot of mention out there.
No, it's reviewing well. Like it's getting good scores, but it's not exactly, this is not not even a AA game. This is an indie game. It is, I think it caught my eye because similarly, a few years back, that game Jusant came out, which had maybe got a couple of spots in a couple of like Xbox third party or Nintendo partner directs. And I was like, oh, that looks cool. And I played it, and it was cool, and it was very fun, and it had a really a calming aesthetic, a very meditative kind of gameplay style, and I think I completed it. I don't think it was super long, and I don't know. I realized I enjoyed mountain climbing video games, and then this one, popped up in one or two of those things, and maybe a Steam Next Fest even. I don't think it was, a real top liner.
How does the controls of this compare to Jusant? Because I never played Jusant, and this has a very, very unique control scheme, and not one that I probably would have expected from having done climbing in other video games before. Yeah,
Jusant it doesn't have the, or at least I don't remember it having the specific per limb controls. It has, a stamina gauge. There were more... I don't know if this is my gameplay style, but in Cairn, I'm finding I'm using less of the pitons to regain stamina. I'm just kind of like going as far as I can, and if I start to fall, basically I hammer one in. Jusant was there was a lot more placement of those kind of things. Like rope length was an issue.
Right.
There were, and it wasn't so much like there was momentum. You were swinging on the rope quite a lot more. It was kind of more like a platformer that happened to be on the side of a mountain rather than Cairn, which is, it's almost like one of those, I forget what his name is. I think he's Australian. The guy who did like Getting Over It, Bennett Foddy. Those games, even like Quap from back in the day, where you're really having to manipulate every single of your four limbs to get up the mountain.
I agree. I've been thinking as I've been playing it that it feels a lot like playing Death Stranding for the first time, where the initial challenge is just getting used to the feel of a game, which is like you sort of realize as you start playing this, it's not something that you're ever really asked to do all that often in a game. If you play a platformer, you sort of know how that's going to feel. And you might do the tutorial in a first-person shooter, but it's a version of things that you've done before, and it feels very familiar. And once you're just told about the specifics in that game, you're off to the races. This is like you're told what to do, and it is, I would say, quite difficult to get used to. And I'm having that, I would say at the moment, I'm having a similar level of friction to what most people have with the beginning of Death Stranding, where I'm like...
Right.
am I enjoying this? Where I'm like, so yeah, you're climbing a mountain. You're using the stick to control one limb at a time in ways that are kind of, you've got this very funny flexibility where you can sort of stretch your limb up at these weird angles, but it will automatically decide for you which limb you should be doing next, and then you're pushing a button to place it on the wall. And then it's sort of deciding based on a few things which is the next limb you should be taking control of. You can also choose to take over whatever limb you want. You can you can decide that yourself if you want. So yeah, you're looking for parts of the rock where you've got like enough of a ledge to grip onto, and then enough of a spot to put your feet, and you'll start to shake. If you're just like on a flat surface trying to cling to that, you'll start to shake, and you'll probably slip down. You do have these stakes that you can put into the rock to kind of keep yourself there, so that if you fall, you'll just go back to that point, sort of like a little checkpoint to yourself up the wall. And yeah, it is just I'm just still kind of getting used to that rhythm and that patience. And I think I was playing it a bit this morning, and I fell at one point back down to where I'd been. And I was like, oh, God damn it, and turned it off. Like, I'm not, you know what I mean? I don't know that I'm quite in that rhythm yet. It feels like it's a good one to play probably like later in the evening, just to kind of like zenning out before bed, because you have to be really okay with it being like quite slow and quite meditative to get from point to point. But it is cool. I think you get so used to like climbing in video games just being like the Uncharted style of like you're just pointing up, or you're just like angling yourself towards a ledge to jump to, and then it's just sort of doing it automatically, or being like a version of using the triggers or whatever. This incredibly precise and specific nature of controlling each limb, I'm really into as an approach to how to make a rock climbing game.
Yeah, I think that I'm over that hump of initial frustration, and I feel like, I don't know, there was a few games I've played over the years that have kind of lent towards this style. There was that puzzle game Heavenly Bodies that I absolutely adored.
It's reminding me of that too. I was gonna say similar level of like just hurdle to get over in the beginning.
Yes, and I would not say that I feel like I'm good at it yet at all. I'm still fucking up. I'm still pushing it too far, and being like, oh, I'll just like really quickly try and get up these last couple of little ledges to get to the top of this, and then just being like,
just can't.
You fucked it.
You can't really take risks. Yeah. There's something about it. I think that like, I can play whatever style of game where you might die and have to, repeat a bit, and it's frustrating, but it's like, hey, that's part of it. I'm right back in. Here we go again. Whereas something about this, the devastation of like falling down a mountain, it's like, it just makes the failure feel so much more like just real and devastating than just being like, oh, I tried to jump this chasm and I fell into the pit of spikes. I didn't quite make it. I've been respawned straight away. Here we go again. Yeah. There's something about just having to watch yourself tumble, and the fact that you like, you're sort of, the character is like shaking as you're like trying, like, and so you, in the brief amount I've played so far, like you're falling and you're like, well, I fucking knew this. Like, it was giving me all this. It's not just like, oh, I tried to do it and couldn't do it. It's like I pushed on when I knew I shouldn't have pushed on. It's really interesting.
Yeah, because it's not like there is a lot else going on in the game. There is some story, which is kind of in the background. It's basically people checking in on you as you are continuing to climb. You've got your little robot friend there.
I really like this. You've got a thing, it's like, I guess it's set in the future. You've got a little thing called the climb bot. Yep. Which is like, he's sort of floating alongside you. He's like storing all of your items, and then when you get to safe footing up one bit of it, you recall him, and that's when all of your poles and spikes and stuff replenish. Yeah. For the next bit that you're going to climb.
Yeah, but apart from the climbing, there really isn't much else in the game. And like you say, when you fuck up, you know that it's your fault. Like, it's your fault. You were impatient and that's why you fell off the mountain. And so it's not, you can't really blame anything apart from your own rashness, which is why it feels so bad.
Yeah, and you've also got at any given point so many different directions that you can try and scale the mountain up in. Like at the beginning, you're starting off on the ground and you can push a button to pull the camera back and get a real look at where you're going and plot a course. Very Death Stranding style, actually. Like actually having to think about like what direction you're going to go in, like what's, where you can see some ledges or things to grab onto. So yeah, it's a combination of like I probably got too impatient and adventurous with the leaps that I was trying to take, / I didn't properly look at, if you zoom out, you're like, oh, there's like a way clearer path up this side that I could go up.
Yep.
It looks great. The cell shaded style is really nice. Works really well for this style of game. Very nice ambient music. You can choose to like have a nap in your tent and sort of set when you're going to get up, and you can be climbing at night or at sunset or sunrise, and like those lighting and like time of day effects look beautiful.
Yeah, and then in the tent you've got your backpack, and in the backpack you've got these little more like actually hand illustrated like versions of like items you've picked up, drink bottles and tea and flowers and things, and that like slightly different aesthetic meshes really well with that overall cell shaded one. Voice acting has been fantastic so far. Really like the main character. I have genuinely found myself getting sucked into this one and just being like, I can't wait to go back and play Cairn for like another couple hours. It's something about it. It can be so frustrating, but it is also so calming and allows you to just focus on one very simple thing. It's literally a game about putting one foot in front of the other and one hand in front of the other. It's great. I'm having a great time with it. And yeah, if this is the first you've heard of it, listening to this, check it out. Watch the trailer. If you like the style, give it a crack.
Yeah, I wonder if the demo is still up on Steam or if it's gone post Next Fest. But yeah, check it out. It is so rare that you play something that is controlled in a way that you've never really seen done before. Yeah. Even just on that alone, I'm like, yeah, I want to keep going with this because it is... I mean, yeah, as we were saying, rock climbing games or rock climbing in games is not a new thing. It's not a unique thing. It feels like it's one of those weird things like the farming sim or whatever of last year where it's like all of a sudden it's a thing that's popping up a lot more. But this being able to find a completely unique way of controlling it in that it sort of almost makes it feel a bit more like a puzzle game than like an action adventure thing where you're having to figure out like, okay, if this foot goes here, am I going to be able to reach up to that one? Yeah, it's cool.
I will quickly say that I played the demo for Neo 3, which is itself coming out in a week or two, I think, maybe next week. It's still not for me. I hate to say it, but it feels like an arcade version of a FromSoft game. It just feels a bit light. It feels a bit, weightless, and I don't know. The storytelling, it has almost like, like the Yakuza games where they feel kind of like arcadey, but then the story is so funny and charming and like intense and deep and well written. It's like, yeah, that's fine. That's I'm still happy to play through it. This, it feels, gameplay wise, it feels kind of like that, but then the story is clearly just like not as good as other games. I don't know. I gave it a crack. I'm happy I did, but I'm also happy I didn't buy it.
Well, things that we will be buying coming up. Dragon Quest 7 Reimagined is out at the end of this week.
Yes.
Really, really, really looking forward to that. Dreading having that on the go while I'm on a 4-hour flight to Perth where I will need to be working on my show because that is prime time for playing a game like this. But yeah, excited to get stuck into that, especially having, reached the end of the demo and that progress carrying over. So sort of really being into the meat of the story at this point is always exciting.
Yeah.
So we'll be talking about that next week. I'm sure there will be a bunch of other stuff. There is apparently a Nintendo Partner Direct happening at some stage this week, heavily rumored. So
like tomorrow or something.
Maybe we'll get some more new... Yeah. I'm excited to see if that comes to fruition. I'm sure there'll be new things in there for us to talk about. But that is going to do us for this episode. Get onto the Patreon. If you're not on there already, we do an extra show for you every week where we talk movies, TV shows, other cultural stuff. We do a once-a-month mailbag episode where we answer your questions that have just gone up. We also do a monthly special zone where one of us presents a topic to the other one, sight unseen. And we've just put up the most recent one of them, which is a guide to the year 1996, which is, of course, celebrating its 30th anniversary this year.
That's right. We did the pop culture version of that many years ago, but I decided to go back and look at all the big video games from 1996, and it turns out there were some of the biggest of all time. So it's it was a fun little trip down memory lane.
Yeah, so get on there. You get heaps of content from us. There's also the entire backlog of years and years and years and years worth of bonus stuff that we've been doing, which you can get for a pittance, and it helps keep the lights on, and we greatly appreciate it. You also get to be in our Discord where we're chatting with you. You're getting exclusive video and footage of Cupie and Louie, our dogs.
Yes. Yes.
I posted a video this morning of Cupie watching the Samsung logo bouncing around our TV, staring at it like his life depended on it.
Yeah, that's good shit. The Filthy Pets channel's still going strong, but we do greatly appreciate the support on Patreon, and if you are a patron, get on the mailbag thread for February when I pop that up. Chuck some questions on there.
Yep.
If you're not a patron, jump on the mailbag tier and ask us some things. Anything you've ever wanted to know, you can ask us, and we will probably answer it in a couple of months.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's going to do us for this week. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next time. And as we say here at the end of every episode of Filthy Casuals, thank you for listening.
Do you think they realized the whole episode was done with synthesized voice?